analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here.
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back. They snatched that chain, boy. Get back. What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back. We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Rob Watson. And returning from South Carolina, Nick Padone. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
He's back.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back on the Factor. Football's back, so am I. Really fun show in the works here.
How was the trip? Did you run into any Clemson fans that were distraught from the loss in Death Valley to LSU?
I did, man. I actually we went into this like old church that was just open. You could just like walk around all of these old historic buildings in Charleston, and this, old woman who was like working the front of the church was like, oh, like, small talk, like, where are you guys from? Cleveland, Ohio. She's like, oh, my husband and my son are really big Clemson fans. What do you guys think about Deshaun Watson? And I was like, ooh, I'm in a church right now, so I can't really say what I actually think. I was like, can't get rid of the guy quick enough. She's like, he had every, this really old Southern woman. He had every opportunity and he just wasted it away. and she was so disgusted. I was like, wow, we need to get you on the Factor. But yeah, it was cool. But definitely saw a lot of Clemson fans. And it was, definitely cool to go to a place that I hadn't been before, talk some ball with some strangers.
That's awesome. I was telling you pre-show, we had an electric show Tuesday because we got to recap all the college football good stuff. Just your thoughts on college football week 1. Anything you got to get off your chest you didn't get the chance to?
No, about went how I expected it to. I was glad that Ohio State won. Obviously, I know that's a really delayed take. Bill Belichick without Tom Brady also went about how I thought it would.
It's really been exposed.
I was holding out hope that maybe Bill could like replicate some magic, but people forget, man. Like, UNC's not a football school at all. They tried to throw this thing together in a sheer couple of months. Usually when you get the big name head coach, like the program will see an uptick in its recruits. That didn't happen. So it really was a byproduct of what UNC football has been, just with Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson on the sideline. I think that the Tar Heels are in for like I think that was not just like a week 1 flop. I think that was similar to like Freddie Kitchens' 2019 Tennessee Titans coming to Cleveland and pull your pants down.
Freddie's on that staff.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. And I mean, some of the Freddie stuff, like first drive of the game, march down the field, score a touchdown, unable to even get a first down there after that. So really fun weekend of college football. I will say, though, and we were talking a little bit about it before the show, really fun weekend of college football. Like Saturday, I quite literally didn't move off my couch. Like I watched the Buckeyes game, then I watched Bama FSU. That's a lie. I stood up and I walked to the gas station that's on the corner of my road, bought a couple of Powerball tickets, walked back, and then that FSU game was like out of hand, and then the Clemson LSU game, and then the next thing I knew, it was time for bed. This weekend, this Saturday, completely different story. I will not be glued to Ohio State versus Grambling State. I'm sorry. Did you guys see what the coach said?
Right, Grambling State.
Those old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Did you see their current head coach? They asked him like what they're expecting about this game coming up, and he said it's going to be a tremendous matchup. He's like, they have a great marching band, we have a great marching band, and he said we know what we're in for outside of the bands.
I love that.
Yeah,
you're going to get your shit trounced. You might as well make
hyping up the band,
make the money that Ohio State's paying to play you, and then compete with the marching bands.
We have no thoughts on Arch being a last name merchant. No thoughts on him just being garbage.
I think he'll be okay. Like, you look at their schedule, they've got UTEP, they've got Sam Houston. Like, you're not gonna
their next 4 games
games are
You're
like
not
a
gonna
breeze.
hear from
yeah.
Arch Manning until the first weekend of October.
I
so
think he's injured low key.
he's got a good
bruised ego?
month. Even if he
Not
is,
shoulder.
I mean, his ego is definitely probably bruised. And so even if he's physically hurt, like he's got a cool month to beat up on some bottom of the barrel teams. And I saw like some of the people were replaying. Like I know Barstool did it on their like new Fox show. Like they played some of that footage of like who Arch was playing in high school, and it was just straight scrubs.
Wait, so I'm surprised no one knew about it. He went to like I forgot what state it was, but they played nobody, and they were like
Yeah.
the only
Bishop
football
Sycamore?
school. Like every other school was like people like Jack's height out there. Like literal Jacks were on the field is who they were playing. And
Right.
he's like walking out of the pie, like no comp at all. Like
Yeah, so
My KO rate's still
but with that
93%. Don't forget that.
With that being said, like I just the physical makeup of Arch Manning, and then you saw some of the throws late in the game, like in the fourth quarter. That touchdown throw, I'm like, that's a Sunday throw. Bookmark that one in the back of my the back of my brain when the Browns have 2 or 3 wins, and I'm trying to make arguments for who could be QB1 in 2026. Like
I'm very out.
He figured some things out. I'm with you
I'm
for the
very
time
out.
being. I'm very out. And what's unfortunate for him is until arguably the college football playoff, you look at Texas' schedule, like they don't have many opportunities to pull you back in. Like Oklahoma's ranked. They've got them. Georgia at the end of the season ranked. They've got them. Outside of that, like Arch will have very little opportunity to bounce back from the stinker that he laid in Columbus. So maybe Archie was right the whole time, and so was Jimmy Haslam, that he's just not going to come out this year. Like I could
Never
truly
seen a
see that
quarterback
taking
throw a
shape.
bounce pass on a football field ever. Like I don't know. I think though if he plays like that again, bro, you can see them get upset by somebody, and that'd really be tough for him.
We're going to move on, but real quick, Nick, congratulations to your Kent State Golden Flashes on the
Got
victory
on
over
the
Merrimack.
show.
It was what, like 750 days?
Dude, I mean, and it was a thrill. Talk about pulling out a victory from the jaws of defeat.
The
It was what
realist.
the Golden Flashes really
The
did.
realist.
They were trying their hardest to lose that game. They were up, and it was close the entire way. I'm like, man, they're never going to cover this because they're going neck and neck. Then Merrimack takes the lead. DeRealis Clark has a 105-yard kick return to the house. It was incredible. Anthony Lima was on the call, and like obviously that went viral just because the kid's name was DeRealis Clark.
DeRealis
That took it to,
Clark?
I mean, guys, that might be like that game, that win stopped like a 700 some day losing streak. Like buckle it in. It might be another 700 days till you see a victory. So I hope all my fellow Flash alum really soaked that one in, because that could be the last that we've seen certainly this year. Like you look at the Kent State.
Is there a
schedule
big
this
game?
year.
Are you guys playing like a top 25 or this? Oh, you guys got Texas Tech.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they have like
We go-
Tennessee
you guys
and
have-
Penn State
You
last
guys
year?
got Florida
Tex-
State and
Two
Oklahoma.
Texas. So listen to this schedule. This Saturday they're in Texas Tech. Then they've
Little
got a
triple
MAC game.
Lubbock.
They're at home against Buffalo, but Buffalo's good.
Buffalo's raw, yeah.
That's
But then they go
BTA.
Florida
Then they
State,
go
Oklahoma.
to Florida State,
Oh,
to
no.
Oklahoma. And then whatever guys you've got left, and by October 11th, you host UMass.
Well, that could be a
That's
W.
probably-
They're pretty bad, too.
That's probably your hope if you want to eclipse the over 1.5 win total. But then it's just the MAC gauntlet in Toledo, who's probably the odds-on favorite to win the Mid-American Conference. At BG, I imagine, Pudgy the Cat, it could suit up at QB for that game. It's not happening. Ball State's good. Akron's better than they've been. And then you've got a directional Michigan. Those are always toss-ups. And then Northern Illinois is a respectable MAC team.
It's
that's
really
working on
really
moving
tough
up,
team.
so.
Really tough team. Top tier college football program.
Well, listen, victories come far
I had a question for Nick
and
on that.
few between. What's your question?
So if you're the Kent State head coach and you're probably fighting for your job, even if you're interim, you don't know how the year's going to go, If you have those 2 really tough games before UMass, do you consider sitting your starters and just losing 100, like literally losing 100-0, but going in fully healthy to UMass?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think that's that insane.
I think they do. You see schools do.
Soft.
And like Kent should have like a walk-on tryout before those 2 or 3 games right there, and then just like send
You wanna
me
play
and
Florida
my
State?
old roommate Mike Krikora to be out there at left tackle just to figure some things out. Yeah, you want
wanna play a Road to Glory? Here's your Road to Glory.
Free trip down to Florida.
And to
like,
Doak
come-
Campbell Stadium this weekend, fella.
Yeah, battled Tommy Castellanos with us.
Well, listen, not many victories for Kent State, but plenty of victories all the time at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford, Ohio is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and I promise they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealer. You see right above me, Fairway Ford Summer Sale is still going on. It's not fall yet, so make that short drive to Canfield. Peruse over 500 vehicles in stock on their lot, potentially finding your dream vehicle. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, and same hometown level of service. Scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. Again, that's fairwayfordohio.com. Well, guys, we got some bad news about NFL Red Zone, but this was as expected. No more 7 hours of commercial-free football. The new saying, according to Scott Hansen, 7 hours of Red Zone football starts now. Calls it a business decision that he was not a part of making. Red Zone's rights became the property of ESPN. We know that when the network acquired NFL Media earlier this year. Guys, commercials for NFL Red Zone kind of defeats the purpose, but it seems like this was inevitable. Anytime you get a big buyout from a company that is willing to pay money for you, they're going to throw in commercials to make it back.
Yeah, if somebody wants to buy the big factor, we'll sit here and do 7 hours of just commercials if that's really what it takes. You know what's fascinating about this though is Hansen said, and I saw he's getting all the heat. Like, come on, he didn't make this decision.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing ever.
It's really dumb. Like he doesn't
there, so he doesn't get fined.
Yeah, he doesn't run Red Zone. Like he just hosts it. What he did say though that they're not going to miss any touchdowns. So how does that work? So something tells me it's going to be a lot of like picture in
Whopper.
Like, I don't think it's going to interfere. They're going to try to keep it as intact as possible. I don't think it's going to like commercials.
It's going to be that's why I saw it in articles. It's going to be like those almost like when they're in a huddle, like and they know it's going to take a second. They give you like the quick zoom out to the other thing, and it's in the mini box in the middle, but. I think it's dumb and it's selfish, and we all knew that when Big Mickey got control of football, that like everything else he owns and has was going to go the exact same way.
I feel like everyone's first thought was, "Oh man, like we're coming to the end of the 1 o'clock slate. We got like 4 games that are in like a drive scenario. We get the Whopper commercial." Then we come back and it's Lamar Jackson is scoring a 70-yard touchdown to win the game.
That's the best play I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, and it's like, what happened? So, I mean, but the picture-in-picture stuff is probably fine. You're going to have to squint a little bit at your TV to make sure you're not missing something. But
I will say it's good that Deshaun is not our quarterback because he used to love those first play interception pick sixes. And we would be missing a lot of those with commercials on Red Zone.
He did. That was his favorite.
First play.
I remember the Steelers game. I wasn't even on the game yet. Like when I turned on the TV for that Steelers game, I saw the Steelers celebrating in the end zone.
Alex Highsmith action.
Oh, man. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about basketball before we flip over to football because this is the biggest story probably of the week. The Los Angeles Clippers and team owner Steve Ballmer reportedly have been accused of circumventing the NBA salary cap by paying $28 million to Leonard for a, quote, no-show job. Pablo Torre, of course, we know Pablo Torre from ESPN, reported Wednesday that the Clippers paid Leonard through a now bankrupt company owned by Steve Ballmer. In his latest episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out, Torre cited a trove of internal documents from the company Aspiration, which Ballmer partially funded. Later that month, the Clippers announced a $300 million partnership with the now bankrupt Aspiration, including sponsorship in the team's new arena on the team's jersey patch. Guys, basically, long story short, pay Kawhi Leonard illegally to get under the NBA salary cap. Records come out because the company went bankrupt. Turns out you're not allowed to do that.
Money laundering? Question mark?
Yeah.
So what is going on here?
Obviously, we don't know anything for sure yet, but I'll always subscribe to if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck theory. And I think that's how you're kind of shaping up here. But I don't know. I saw some interesting reports. I saw Mark Cuban talk back a bit about what he thought went down, and I think he might be joining Pablo Torre on an episode here in the near future. So I'm excited to see the fallout, though, guys, because, like, yeah, it is kind of weird, like, Kawhi going to the Clippers in the first place, and then yeah, I mean, I saw rumors. I mean, not rumors of it being serious, but like Jalen Brunson took a lot less money, probably $100 million less to make his current contract work with the Knicks. Like maybe something went on there too, and that's where he's getting his extra money. Who knows?
I mean, Tom Brady notoriously would leave money on the table to pay Gronkowski and the receivers and
Robert Kraft never did anything shady.
And now he magically owns an NFL franchise. So there's that.
Rob, your thoughts, bro?
I mean, he got paid. It's a little gross, but yeah, I mean, him getting exposed, he might start squealing and saying that there's some other stuff going on. It doesn't completely shock me that this is like the the first. Has this ever happened before? Like, I wouldn't be shocked if there were other situations where it was.
And here, leave it
close.
to Kawhi Leonard, by the way, to be the guy that gets paid to not show up. You know, like leave it to
like they did
of
this
all
and he plays
athletes, of
82
all
games
athletes in
5
all
years.
major sports. Like we didn't hear about this in hockey or baseball. Leave it to Kawhi Leonard, the guy that is constantly under scrutiny for load management and getting paid massive. Like he is under a max contract, you know, with the Clippers, and he's played, I believe, he's missed rather 40% of their regular season games and 30% of their postseason games, whether it be to injury, load management. You never hear or see much of Kawhi. He is the most under the radar superstar that sports has ever seen. He's a 2-time NBA champion. You never see him doing anything.
2-time finals MVP.
2-time finals MVP. Leave it to Kawhi Leonard to be the guy that's getting paid to not show up. Like that just, it suits him so well.
I also think it's hilarious that people are like shocked that this kind of stuff is happening in sports when like for literal decades, like going way past SMU and college football, like athletes have been paid under the table in college football. Like, you think that didn't happen professionally as well to make things work and odds and ends? Like, I don't know. I also wonder, like, because you have boosters in college, like, I wonder how you have owners like Jimmy Haslam who clearly like have the money, who are minority owners in other places before they become the main owner. Like, I wonder if a lot of them like put extra money into contracts and stuff. Like, I think it's an interesting wormhole to go down.
Definitely not surprised, but I've always in most topics been pro players getting paid. So however it works, like whatever. Obviously he's cheating a little bit, but it hasn't been working for him either.
Well, that's the piece of it. That's the piece of it, right? Is it does create like it creates like a almost like MLB type dynamic where there's no level playing field. Like if you're someone like a Steve Ballmer or a Jimmy Haslam or a Dan Gilbert that has endless pockets, you're competing on a level that's not even, you know, you're the Mike Browns of the world in Cincy, right? Like, not to take a low blow at them because they've actually done an at least all right job for this year taking care of their guys, but you know Mike Brown couldn't scheme anything like this. Like football and the Bengals, that's his main source of income.
They had to sell TVs.
Packers can't either.
So he can't do no sort of, you know, back channel deals. Whereas if, you know, in theory, if Dan wanted to do some sort of back deal, he's got all of these other companies like O'Donovan, be a spokesperson for Fathead or be a spokesperson for StockX, and you don't have to do anything, but we're going to pay you $20 million through this company to be a face of it through professional NIL. And that does create like an uneven playing field for some of the different pro basketball teams that don't have those outside interests or don't have those deep of pockets to create those back channels.
The way the league is set up right now, it's been as like the evenness of the teams is the best it's ever been. And I remember a time where it was you could look at it and you would know the 3 teams every year that had a chance, or the 3 to maybe 4. It would be awful probably if this, like, they need the salary cap it's needed in the NBA. You still see super teams randomly pop up. Really thinking back to KD being on the Warriors and how unfun that made the NBA, and you would hate to see something like that. But also at the same time, though, because most of these owners do have other companies, I wondered if it could be a reverse thing where, like, now you would see small market teams being able to keep a star because they could circumvent and do a little bit of other stuff to keep some money. But the bigger money would always still be in the big markets. So you would see the Knicks with Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph Curry, and whoever, and just winning the league every year. So it wouldn't be fun to see it all.
Well, another layer to this story, Aspiration, which was the company that filed for bankruptcy, they're under federal investigation for fraud, and Aspiration co-founder Joe Sandberg pled guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud in late August to defrauding investors and lenders of more than $248 million.
Wow.
So to this level, I don't think this is
Bernie
happening
Madoff
with every
era.
team. I don't think this is happening with every team. I think Steve Ballmer's in it with some shady stuff going on over there. But if there were other little tricks that people were doing to move like a couple $1 million, wouldn't be shocked. But this is like some high level stuff, and there's going to be probably a lot to uncover on this.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break, guys. When we get back, football is here. It starts tonight with the Eagles and Cowboys. We'll talk about the Browns and Bengals before we get into our bets for that game, and we'll do that when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Factory on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack Rourke, Rob Watson, Nick Padone, back from South Carolina. Before we dive back into football, I got to tell you about our friends over at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want it to taste, and that's beer-flavored beer. Scan that QR code now, or go get their website or visit drinkgaragebeer.com to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that's drinkgaragebeer.com. Well, guys, NFL is officially back. It all starts tonight, but before we get into that, we talk about our Browns-Bengals. 5.5 right now is the line on FanDuel in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. How are we feeling before we jump into all the good stuff?
You know, there was a good argument that I heard this morning on the radio, and I wanted to bring it here. What would be more surprising to you guys, the Browns beating Cincinnati week 1, or the Browns getting blown out? What would be the bigger surprise?
Wow, that's a great question.
I think there's a right answer
I
here.
think the Browns getting blown out.
I agree.
I think the Browns getting blown out because if the
Yeah, I think the Browns winning is a bigger surprise.
No, I mean, I don't expect.
They had a hard camp. Week 1's
Like-
weird. You see bad teams winning week 1 all the time.
And here's the thing: if the Browns get blown out, then what does that tell you? One, the
we should
offense
be able
isn't
to
working at
score a
all, which is
couple
what would be the less surprising fact. But it would, despite the Bengals probably projecting as the number 1 offense in the league, week 1, if you get blown out, that defense is Swiss cheese, man. And I don't think that's the case. So if they do get
That
blown
would just
out,
say something about us not being able to score.
Yeah, I
can
think
see
because
us
like
losing,
Jerome,
like-
like it's gonna be Jerome Ford primarily. Like I could see a world where Jerome Ford sucks, and we can't get the passing
35
game going
so
because
what, blowout
we can't
is
run.
Over 3 touchdowns, right? Somewhere.
I would,
in there.
I would say in the I would say in the
I'd
NFL
say
17 points is a blowout. Like if it's like a firm,
3
not like
score,
last second touchdown, it's 17 points.
3-score game.
yeah, I'd say.
I could see us losing by 14 to 17 points.
See, I would say a blowout is.
I'm thinking 21 plus is a blowout.
I would say blowout.
Well, no. So a blowout
14
is 17. A skull fucking is 27.
Here's the way I would
that's
say.
like the variance.
I'd say a blowout's 15 points because that's
more than 2
more than
touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
could-
And I guess you could go for 2.
We
but
could
like,
lose by 15. I don't know. I wouldn't be too shocked if it
That's
was
a
like-
great
No,
question,
I'd be shocked, man.
All right, why
I
are the
thought
Cleveland
they
Browns
lose-
led by
I'd
a
be
40-year-old
shocked if they got
quarterback
blown out.
coming off a 3-win season so above getting blown out week 1?
I'd be
The
shocked.
kicker misses an extra point. We lose 35-20. That's like insane to you guys.
Yeah, I'd be shocked. I think that
Really?
I think this, and now this is just for this week. Like what happens in Baltimore, I won't be shocked by any outcome. I think they're gonna get blown out. In week 1 though, week 1s are weird, so you could start with that. But the Browns match up so well with Cincinnati, and I get that you don't have Nick Chubb. It's gonna be Jerome Ford, and I get that they have Joe Burrow, you have Joe Flacco, they have Jamar Chase, you have Jerry Jeudy and a bunch of guys. I get that on paper, the Bengals should dominate this matchup, and that's why on paper they're a 5.5-point favorite. But I do think that this is going to be a close game. This is a 1-score game. I'd be stunned if the Browns got blown out in this game. They took camp way more seriously, and now the Bengals have as well. The Bengals played all their guys in all preseason games, so the Bengals took this very seriously too. But I'd be stunned if the Browns came out and just got shellacked in week 1. Like John Fanta said it on Big Play Cleveland weeks ago. Kevin Stefanski's had 8 months to think about this opening drive.
That's cool, but what about the next 56 minutes of gameplay is what
And
I'm thinking about. And it's how, when we're getting into the game, I'm shy. I have no answer for how we're going to actually establish the run. That's where I'm lost, and that's what we need.
That's definitely a worry. But to me,
The Bengals D-line.
it's like that's a worry for another week is establishing the run. But I totally
week
get your
2.
point. Like it's just the fact that 1, it's week 1, you can't really expect much. 2, history will tell you the Bengals have slow starts, regardless of if they turned up in camp. 3, the fact that I don't have proof of concept of the Bengals doing that to the Browns ever, like in the last 5-6 years. So all those things lead me to believe Browns could easily lose this game, no doubt, but a blowout. And based on how good I think our D-line could be,
Right.
I think the Browns have a fighting chance.
And there's also just no
They're
way
also
in my
trying to get
mind-
prepped so hard for week 1 though. They've lost week 1 3 years in a row now, I think. Like
Yeah.
it's been their focus has been like they've missed the playoffs now. I mean, I know the Burrow injury the 1 year, but because of their slow starts, like Zach Taylor, if things go like really to shit early in the season, I think there's a world where he gets fired if they come out like 2-4, 2-5. Like he's on the hot seat a little bit. Like they have such an urgency to start hot this year, and they're licking their chops at a team like us. I don't know. I could see him doing it.
It's like almost gone too. Like the only things that I remember from the dominant games against the Bengals are Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Now, granted, important pieces, defense, but Nick Chubb was the guy who was a Bengal killer. He used to come out every game, and that's what was getting it done for us.
Who's
I
going to
haven't
guard
seen-
T. Higgins?
Joe Flacco never played the Bengals, I don't think. I don't think he played them. That wasn't.
You're right.
Yeah,
He
so
never.
I'm a little I'm concerned on how this is going to look. And if he's got to throw the ball like 40 to 50 times, I'm seeing 2 picks. Like, there's going to be some stuff that goes on, and I don't. We're assuming the defense is just going to lock them up. Like, that's a huge ask for a team that knows you're going up against the top 5 offense.
It's gonna be a close game though. I mean, I'd be stunned if it wasn't. Like if they like
Really?
if they got
That's so
blown
crazy.
if they got blown out. Think about this, guys, because like the offense, even though I have questions too about the run game, about the receiving group, but if the offense looks bad in this game against Cincinnati's defense, like, pull up the schedule and find me where we're gonna get even 2 or 3 wins. Like, it's almost like the pressure in this game, and that's what I always like looking at, like when I'm putting bets in. And even though the Bengals have tried their hardest to shake this slow start narrative, the more pressure in this game is on the Browns, in my opinion, because of how difficult that schedule is to start. And that if you lose this game and you look incompetent offensively, the conversation about Kevin Stefanski's offense, that's been the talk this week, is that we're finally getting back to that and what works. And the last time that we saw that in 2023, like, we were able to move the ball and good things happen. Like, if it doesn't, though, and if the offense does look bad, the onus is going to be on everybody. Like, everything this year, because the Browns told you, and they're continuing to tell you, because their coaching staff and their front office is on the sideline of all the top college football games. Like, this is an evaluation year, so everybody is under evaluation, not just the quarterback spot. Like, we're evaluating everything. Like, can this be something that we move forward with? Period, is under evaluation.
Which player for the Cleveland Browns are you most excited to kind of keep a microscope on? And for me, it's Mason Graham. I believe 9 sacks Myles Garrett has on Joe Burrow in his career. I believe Denzel Ward, I believe, is the best coverage on Jamar Chase out of receivers with a minimum of snaps.
Yeah.
But, like, if the fact that Myles Garrett has been so disruptive to the Bengals, the fact that Zach Taylor is going to have to do everything to game plan to double team Myles, the fact that we saw Mason Graham beating double teams in the preseason, if Mason Graham comes in, you can't double team him, and he looks dominant. That's how you make Joe Burrow's life hell, and that's the recipe to staying in this game.
Offense, I'll be looking at Njoku. Defense, I'll be looking at Schlesinger, because I need to see somebody play linebacker. We lost all the guys, so hopefully he's making tackles. Because if he's not making tackles, the run game could get a little spooky. Offense, obviously, I'm looking for Njoku to be Flacco's main target. I don't know if I'm weird for this, because maybe I'm just not used to it. It's a little more of a rarity in the NFL. But I'm not looking at Graham as like this pass rusher. You know what I mean? Like, relying on our nose tackle to get like a couple sacks, I feel like is a little iffy.
Yeah.
I think it's great if he gets like 7 in a season. That's like a very good season. Like, you know what I mean? So, maybe it looks different though. Like, there's exceptions. There's been different people, and he's a smaller guy. He's a little more noble, and he's got quick on his feet. But it's just something I don't want to like bank on. You know what I mean? So it's just harder for me to.
I'm looking at
think about
Stefanski. Is that crazy? Just because, like,
That is not crazy.
I think you win this game by doing what Stefanski does really well, especially during his time as a play caller. Just play keep away. Like, even if the run game is a little bit suspect, like, you can dink and dunk to Njoku. You could kill clock and just lean on that field position battle. Lean on really ugly AFC North football where you play good defense, where you move the sticks with Joe Flacco. You take the shots where they're there. Like, I think the recipe to beat Cincinnati is that simple, that you could dink and dunk offensively with Flacco, Njoku, and Judy, leave everybody else at bay, and then you play really sound defense, try your hardest to keep Burrow and Chase in check. They're going to get theirs. That's just how it goes in the National Football League. If anybody ever played perfect defense, the ball would never move off the 50-yard line. And that's how I think you win this game. So, like, I'm looking at Stefanski and the game plan to just bleed clock and try to have, like, if they win this game, it's going to be the most boring win that you've ever seen.
I'm going to go with Greg Newsome for my guy who needs to play well for the Browns to win, because someone's going to have to help on the boundary on the outside with T. Higgins, and I don't know what's going to happen.
What is so different about the Browns right now versus when we played them last year that's making us feel so confident? It's just what's getting me. Because Myles played in that game last year when they came here and just absolutely demolished us. Same thing.
I know when we played him at home.
This is when Deshaun.
That was when Deshaun tore
his
his,
Achilles.
like-
Yeah, when we played at home, that was when Deshaun
I think we played him again late in the year, and that was bad.
That's the thing. I just can't evaluate any game that Deshaun Watson was the
serious.
starting
But they
quarterback
moved the
because you
ball.
were
I'm talking about
you were
our defense.
behind. You were playing from behind in all of those games because he was.
We could be
so
this
bad.
year,
we're
too.
gonna
He
be
was
playing from
so
behind
in,
on
he was
Sunday,
so inept, but I at least like my chances a little bit more with Flacco over Watson playing from behind because I know Flacco could move the ball. I've seen that with my 2 eyes.
And also, hopefully, week 1 you have like as fully healthy Denzel Ward as you can, rather than playing them later in the season. Like we
Right.
know Kevin Stefanski is a master at the first opening drive. Like that's the only time the Browns offense actually looked good last
They
year.
don't
was
score in the opening
drive.
drive. Do we get scared?
Yes,
I think you guys.
Yeah, you should be fucking paralyzed in fear.
Is this a backwards take? But I think you could see the offense look good, and we still just like aren't really in the game. Like I don't think that's impossible. Like we could put up, but if it turns into that, because I don't see how we're gonna keep away with Dylan Sampson and Ford in the backfield. I just don't see us controlling the clock.
Well, if it's a
But
Big
here's
12,
the-
if
here's
it's a Big
another
12
part
football
of
game,
that.
then we lose by
But
15.
here's another part of that. If the offense looks good, I mean, just think about if the offense can consistently move the ball, just how much better of situations that's going to put our defense in last year. Like, you were asking our defense to do so much. Like, how many times did they start in the red zone? Like, that's disgusting. You can't ask. You can't ask. I don't care if you have Miles Garrett, if you have Denzel Ward. You can't ask him to get a stop every time in the red
I
zone.
got
I'm a little
Browns
worried
winning
though
that
if we don't like establish
winning
the
this
run.
thing.
Like if we don't establish the run early and like you're putting spots where like Trey and Shamar can like
like
pin their ears back and go, like I'm worried there's a chance we don't move the ball this year either.
But
All right. Do we want to do score predictions tomorrow?
yeah, let me sit on it. Maybe
All right.
I'll come back tomorrow. Pro Browns.
All right,
but-
we'll take a break. When we get back, Thursday Night Football, beginning of the NFL season is tonight. We're going to lock in some bets. Hopefully we can start 1-0 in our parlay. We'll do that when we get back on the Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson, Nick Padone. Nick, FanDuel's feature day is coming past. We got all of our good bets in, but the fun doesn't stop at FanDuel.
FanDuel's getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet. Bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay. Download that FanDuel app today and get started. Must be 21 plus and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus bets are issued as non-withdrawable bonuses, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Guys, opportunity to bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets tonight if the bet hits.
Jack, without further ado, our first 2025 Big Factor NFL parlay. Take it away.
Let's do it, folks. We're coming out with a 50% profit boost from FanDuel for Thursday Night Football tonight, moving our parlay from plus 468 all the way up to plus 702. We're starting out with the most fun bet in all of football. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown scorer. You know Saquon's getting the year started off right. And the luxury of every football fan in the whole entire world, garbage time Dak is back. Dak Prescott over 250 passing yards, the alternate line. And who are we going to but his favorite target, CeeDee Lamb, for an anytime touchdown, as well as his alternate receiving yards over 60. Once again, Saquon anytime touchdown, Dak over 250 yards, CeeDee anytime touchdown, and CeeDee over 60 receiving yards. That'll win you $40 if you bet 5, or 80 and 24 cents if you bet 10 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Plus 702. Guys, football's back, man.
Woo! Boy, does that feel good locking in those NFL parlays. I love it. My leg was the Dak 250 plus yards, Jack. You're exactly right. If they go down early, which I think they will, or even in the second half, Dak is going to have to air the ball out. That run game looks to be atrocious. Maybe Jaden Blue will emerge, but Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders miss me with that. Dak's going to have to air out the football if they want any chance of being in this game. Over 250 is my leg. Rob, what was yours?
Had the Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. You know, this is obvious. Former, coming off the biggest year, player of the year, being that guy, Saquon, he's going to touch it. He's going to get in the end zone. He might break off a big one early. He might just get a little 1-yarder late. Never
Or
know.
we get 8 tush pushes. Nick, what did you have?
Yeah, I had the CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown. Your goats usually eat week 1 for the Dallas Cowboys. They got rid of one of their goats this week, of Micah Parsons. So I think Jerry and the boys got to remind everybody of who they paid. That's Dak and CeeDee Lamb. I got CeeDee finding the end zone.
Jack, if you find
Yeah,
the end
I
zone.
went CeeDee 60 yards because of that touchdown for Nick right there, because there's nothing cooler than when the Cowboys are down 11 points with 2.5 minutes left and Dak just throws a nuke down the field. Most fun part of my week.
All right, if you really want to try to make some bread courtesy of FanDuel, guys, I did a little research. I went back and looked at all the opening NFL games from the past, I believe, 6 years. And every game, you got a touchdown scorer that you're like, what the fuck? Last year. This one isn't that crazy, but Isaiah Likely, who I believe had like 11 catches, 120 yards, had a touchdown. You go before that, Blake Bell for the Kansas City Chiefs. The year before that, the Bills, Isaiah McKenzie scored a touchdown. The year before that, Antonio Brown for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored a touchdown. The year before that, Jordan Aiken scored a touchdown. And the year before that, Jimmy Graham scored a touchdown.
Wow.
The ghost of Jimmy Graham. So my bet, if I'm looking to make a little bread, if I'm going to get a random touchdown score, give me Jalen Tolbert plus 500 for an anytime touchdown. If it's not going to be CeeDee, if it's not going to be George, could be Jake Ferguson, of course, but I'm going to go off a limb and I'm going to say Jalen Tolbert gets a touchdown to continue this odd trend of random players scoring touchdowns in the opening games.
Hear me out.
Give me Will Shipley.
Luke Shoemaker.
Who?
Backup tight end
Who?
on the Cowboys.
You guys
Little
are
red
great.
zone boot.
Should I pull a hand for
Shoemaker.
Now that's crazy.
All right, guys, I can't wait for the NFL season to be here. It is almost here. We got to wrap the show up, but before, a little look ahead to college football week 2. Jack, only really one good game on the slate to watch. Oklahoma welcomes in Bryce Underwood of Michigan. Michigan looked pretty decent offensively against New Mexico. Oklahoma took care of a scrub. Now we are looking at Bryce Underwood, his first true road start as a true freshman.
Yeah, this is gonna be a not as fun weekend. College football always kind of stages a coup on you week 1, and they throw a bunch of like 5 good ranked games, and then you get a little bit back into the one good game a week, and you're kind of like, oh, I forgot NIL kind of ruined the sport before you get back to a weekend of 4 or 5 ranked games. This is a fun one though, because John Mateer at Washington State didn't really ever have a tough schedule, played a lot of cupcakes, had awesome stats, like he was playing quarterback over at Fairview High School. He comes over Oklahoma. They played Illinois State, I think, last week or someone like that, so they had a blowout win. Bryce Underwood, you're not going to learn a whole ton about him from playing New Mexico. I saw he had a nice throw on like 3rd and 11 though, across the middle of the field. That was all over Twitter. So yeah, this will be the most fun game of the weekend though. It's the only ranked matchup. Definitely, I think it's going to be a feel out game, a lower scoring game, because it's the first like true test of a defense for either of these quarterbacks and really in college football.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State, number 1, takes on Grambling State. Penn State takes on FIU. Texas plays San Jose State. Illinois plays Duke. Florida State plays East Texas A&M. Iowa State, Iowa. Iowa's not ranked.
Civil War.
But Iowa State Rocco back 16 after their victory against Kansas State. That could be a good
It
game.
would be a good one.
SMU takes on Baylor. Indiana versus Kennesaw State. These games are garbage. But Kent State takes on Texas Tech. Spread there. Texas Tech minus 48.5.
Good
Oh.
Lord.
Could you keep it within a 50 spot?
Good teams win, great teams cover.
Last thing, we didn't really talk about this, but Nico Imilava, we had like our first college
Who?
trade. He transferred to UCLA. UCLA then transferred. Joey Aguilar, their quarterback, transferred to Tennessee. They beat Syracuse. UCLA got the brakes blown off them.
That whole entire 2023 quarterback class, so I think there was 5 5-star recruits out of that class. So Arch, obviously probably is still going to end up A-okay here. Then you have Nico Iamaleava, who transfers out, goes to UCLA, had an awful game week 1. Then it's Dante Moore, who was committed to Notre Dame for the longest time. I was really excited about him. Ends up deciding on UCLA, I think, at first. Doesn't really play there. Sits behind Dylan Gabriel all of last year at Oregon. He's starting, and he was like solid week 1, but they didn't play anyone. And then the last kid, he started out at like Florida, I think. Like for some reason never played, might have like torn something. Went to Houston, didn't play there, and now he's at an FCS school. Like he was a 5-star recruit. I'll have to look up the kid's name for the show tomorrow. But so it's been a very, very disappointing quarterback class so far.
Nelson?
Yes, yeah, as they start their third year.
UTEP.
UTEP.
That's FBS still, I think.
Barely. Go Miners, though.
Did you forget about Jackson Arnold? Did you not?
Oh, yeah, Jackson Arnold. He can't throw for shit, but his legs are awesome.
When we
beat Dylan Gabriel for a job.
Month ago, when we picked our Heisman, who did everybody have? I had Jeremiah, I had Lenoris, and DJ. So a pretty good week for me. Jeremiah didn't do much, but I'm not worried about
Let me go. I can
Bro,
probably get it up
actually
here
think
pretty
I
quick.
drafted Arch. I'm probably so fried.
I think
I got it up. I got it up. I got it up.
I had Dylan Raiola in mind. So
I'm
you
so-
want to talk?
Hey,
about
not doing bad, though.
Wanna
Not
know.
doing. Oh, you had Dante Moore. You had Dante Moore and Ty Simpson and Arch Manning. So that could be a wilted rose.
that Ty Simpson.
I'm shocked.
Nick Nussmeier, not in a bad spot. Drew Eller, not in a bad spot. Dylan Raiola, for what he is, not in a
That's-
bad spot. So hey, you're
Garrett
cooking.
and Drew,
Nussmeier and
Garrett and
Drew.
Drew, yeah.
I'm so cooked.
Jeremiah Smith, he'll be fine. Lenora Sellers, DJ Lagway, you're in a good spot.
Wow.
My fellas down here, Jeremiah Love,
GG.
not touching the ball.
GG.
Cade Klubnik,
Wilted Rose.
Oh, that's a
SpaghettiOs.
wilted rose.
Wilted Rose.
John Matier, though.
Wilted Rose. Pack it
He's
up.
not a wilted rose. He could come out and beat Michigan and be right up there at the top of the
You
odds.
guys are going to see why Bryce Underwood's actually the next big thing when they play Washington.
Before we're done, can we talk about Angel Reese, too?
Yeah, go for it.
That did you guys see the story at all? That came out last night.
Nah, little bro.
So Angel Reese was asked about her teammates. Basically, called out her point guard, 36-year-old teammate Courtney Vandersloot, and goes, "We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before." Okay, so basically, it then came out as well, said, "We need to go out and get great players." And now her team is basically pissed at her. They had a team-only meeting last night and shoot her out, even though she had, like, I think it was 20, 13, and 4-4. So that was, like, the big story out of the WNBA last night is Angel Reese just basically flat out came out and said her teammates suck.
Well, that's good to know. Hey, before we wrap up here, do we allow anybody a substitute pick for their Heisman?
Yeah,
Or no?
can I swap something in, bro?
No.
Please?
After 1 week.
Please, can I get a buy-in?
Ty Simpson's
I
gonna be
would
fine.
love to swap somebody for Tommy Castellanos.
Could I rebuy? I'll buy in on Bryce Underwood for no reason, even though he has no shot.
I don't know.
think
We'll
he's gonna-
discuss it. Maybe not. That does feel a little bit wrong.
No, it defeats the purpose of the draft.
Arch, man.
All right, we're out of time here. Appreciate everybody tuning in to the Big
Ty
Factor here on the Big Play
Simpson!
Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson, Nick Padone. Appreciate everybody tuning in again. Shout out Fairway Ford. Shout out Garage Beer. Shout out FanDuel. Again, Jack, what's our parlay? Saquon touchdown. Dak Prescott 250-plus yards passing. CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown, and a CeeDee Lamb 60-plus
And
yards.
Jeremiah
Bingo.
Love for the Heisman.
What would Matt Underwood say, Jack?
Matt Underwood or Rick Manning? I'm more of a Tom Hamilton guy. So
No,
I go
I'm more
ball
of a-
game, but we could go Matt Underwood book it if you want
You're
to.
talking about bets. You got to book it.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
everybody. We'll be out. See you tomorrow.